It's time to focus on the Wyopreps Big School Game of the Week as voted on by you, the fan, and it takes us to Class 4A with a 1 versus 3 showdown according to our Wyopreps coaches and media poll this week. Top-ranked Rock Springs on the road at third-ranked Cheyenne, kind enough to give me some more time for the fourth time this season, but at least it's not the fourth week in a row as Mark Lenhardt, the head coach of the Rock Springs Tigers. I guess since I haven't chatted with you in a little bit, Mark, what have you seen out of your team? How have things been going from your standpoint?
Oh, it's been good. I mean, I think that, for the most part, we're healthy, which, at this time of the year is what you need. And we were able to get a couple games in there where we were able to sit a couple guys who were maybe a little dinged up, or we were able to, have a running clock or some shorter games where guys could get off the field. But that brings issues in itself where, against Central last week, we tried to leave everybody in as long as we could because we really need to be ready for the playoffs and be in as good a shape as we possibly can. So it's been kind of a tightrope act to try and find a way to get our guys rested but still get them enough work to stay sharp.
Well, and that is a delicate balance, Mark, because you do have some key games coming up, and it really, for you, almost is like a pre-playoff game, I think, this week. Would you look at it like that?
Yeah, it is. I know there's a lot of people who get obsessed with the seedings and the different things of that nature. And, there's obviously we would like to get a home, 2 home games if we can find a way to win and, play at home for 2 games. But, you're going to have to play and beat all these teams anyway. And like I said, we talked early in the year, that it's anybody's ball game when playoff time hits, and especially in 4A this year with all the parity. And so I know maybe people don't see it that way, but I see every single team who's probably going to make the playoffs has a player or a scheme or something that can give everybody problems. And so, more than anything, we're just focusing on this week and then moving forward from there.
Speaking of that, how have you seen the progress in a positive or concerning way with how your team's playing right now?
I think it's been good for the most part. I really like how physical we've played. I thought last week we rushed for about 350 yards against a good Central defense, and so I was really pleased with the way our O-line played. With that being said, Brock and the receivers haven't gotten a ton of game time together. So, we've missed a few throws here and there, but I know we're more than capable of hitting them. We just got to, find a way to get back in rhythm a little bit on that side of the ball, and I'm sure that East will make us do that. And so hopefully we can find a way to get it done this week and really springboard to play our best football moving into the playoffs.
Well, let's talk about the Cheyenne East matchup. What do you look at when you see Coach Goff's squad right now?
Well, they're another one of those teams that's just got a ton of speed. I mean, they don't put a guy on the field who can't run at any position. Their O-line is impressive to me. They're physical, and they move really well. And, they're going to run counter, and they're going to run inside zone, and they don't deviate a ton from it, and they do it really, really well. And so, it's one of those situations where, I know with Gavin Goff getting hurt, you don't really know what you're going to get or how much they're going to put on Camden Hayes, their backup quarterback, but I know that he's more than capable, and he's a coach's kid, and their system is set up to make it easier on a new quarterback. They run a lot of bubble screens and quick throws and things to get them in a rhythm and to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. I think Schlabs is number 9 is a great player for them, in terms of a receiver and a threat on the fly sweep and as a returner. And Drew Jackson's good, and the Pew kid has had a great season in the backfield. And so there's a lot of good players, and they coach them well, and it's a good scheme, and they play well at home. It's going to be a great challenge for our guys.
So what do you need to see out of your squad to get you those 2 home playoff games and beat East on the road, where you've been pretty good on the road this year?
Yeah, I think more than anything, I think that we've got to come out and be physical. We can't give up the big play. I think that when you're playing a team like this and they're going to be up tempo, RPO, we've got to find a way to make sure that we don't let them speed us up to the point where we're not in control and we don't understand who we're covering and we get our eyes staring at places that it shouldn't be. It's going to take a lot of discipline from our team on the defensive side of the ball. And in turn on offense, there are a lot of slanting, moving, bring lots of pressure. They're going to sit back and play in their cover 4 and their 2 deep looks and make you keep the ball in front and march it on them. And, they do it really, really well. And so we're going to have our hands full playing these guys. We know that. And you watched the Sheridan tape from earlier in the year, and they were extremely physical. And so they have it in them to play that way, and I'm sure we'll get their best shot.
Mark, as always, appreciate the time. Best of luck Friday night on the road against Cheyenne East.
All right, thanks, David. I appreciate it.
We continue the conversation for the Wyopreps fan voted Big School Game of the Week. It has number 1 Rock Springs at number 3 Cheyenne East, according to our Wyopreps coaches and media poll. On the phone with me and kind enough to take some time out of his busy scheduled visit is Cheyenne East head coach Chad Goff. And Chad, I know that you guys have continued to roll since that season opening loss against Thunder Basin. I got a chance to chat with you a few weeks back when you played here in Laramie against the Plainsmen, but talk a little bit about how things continue to develop for your squad right now as we get ready to get into Week 8 and into the playoffs next week.
I just think when you break down film and you watch games and how we've done, I just think the kids are still just getting a little bit better every week and buying into what we're doing and doing things right.
You guys have obviously faced some recent adversity, losing Gavin Goff, your starting quarterback. How has the team responded, and what have you seen in Cam Hayes' development?
The team has responded. It's tough to lose a kid like that's done so much, and they've responded to it. I think Cam did a good job last week. I thought the offense stepped up to bring a sophomore quarterback along. You're asking a lot from a young kid in his first varsity start, and I thought the offense rallied behind him and did some good things, and I was pleased with how he played.
Can you describe him just as a player in general and what you've seen in his development, having to step into a role like this in a significant time of the year?
Well, he's a hard-working kid. He's a kid that is at everything we do. He's a weight room kid, throws the ball well. He's tall, so he can be in that pocket a little bit. He understands what we're asking him to do as far as his reads and understanding coverage more and more each time, and so he's putting in some time.
K. Pugh had a big week last week in your win at Kelly Walsh. What have you seen in his development this season, especially coming on to help a young quarterback like Cam Hayes?
Well, I just think he's running the ball so much better this year, just seeing cuts and seeing understanding before the play even is high, the ball is even hiked, what his cut's probably going to be, understanding how the O-line is going to block it. So his understanding of the run game and his execution of the run game has just improved so much.
What about defensively? Where do you feel you're at here late in the season?
I think the defense is a group of kids that's just gotten better, and us as coaches is seeing kids step up and improve themselves. We got good rotations going, keep kids fresh, and so it's a group that has gotten better, I think, week in and week out.
You have a chance to possibly get the number 1 seed in the 4A playoffs. What would that mean to your group?
Oh, that's huge. Not to have to jump on a bus is gigantic. It's huge to be able to stay at home and play in front of your family and friends and just to show them how hard work can pay off, and so that's a big thing.
Well, let's talk about the matchup Friday night. You get top-ranked Rock Springs coming in. They're a very good team. What do you see when you see Coach Lenhardt's squad and what you're preparing to face?
You see size. They're big kids. You see a run game. They love to run the ball. The quarterback's doing a good job when he is throwing the ball. He's doing a really good job, I think, and he's commanded doing a good job commanding his offense, I guess. And defensively, did jump in and out of a couple different fronts and try to cause some confusion there. And so they're a team that, as you watch and you prepare for, you got to be on point. You got to know what's going on all the time.
So what does a matchup like this come down to, Chad? What puts your team over the top, do you feel, Friday night?
Well, this late in the season, you're playing another team that's only got 1 loss, and you're both vying for the first seed. You got to play mistake-free football. You can't turn the ball over. You got to create turnovers, and everyone's got to be playing. You can't have a 10-man offense. You got to have an 11-man offense. You got to have an 11-man defense. You got to wrap up. You got to rally tackle. You got to do everything and put it all in this game.
Do you like this type of a big game here at the end to kind of get your guys almost like a pre-playoff game type of atmosphere and get you ready for that next step?
Yeah, we told them Friday night after the K-Dub game, the playoffs start this week. What a great opportunity to put yourself in a little pressure situation and see how you respond going into the playoffs, because the playoffs are pressure situations. And so what a great opportunity to have that happen for you.
Thank you so much for your time. Best luck. Perhaps we'll catch you down the road.
Okay, thanks.